Hello everyone, welcome to the geography class of standard 10th. The lesson that I am going to continue today is Minerals and Energy Resources Part 2. The topics that I am going to take today are wind energy and biogas, that is we are going to read the pages 196 and 197. With the following objectives, you will come to know about wind energy, its generation, wind farms in India, advantages and disadvantages of wind power, to know about biogas, its generation, uses, advantages and disadvantages. We have already studied that we have number of renewable energy sources like solar power, wind power, hydroelectric power, geothermal power, biofuel, tidal power. We have already studied solar power. Now we will study today wind power and biogas. Now before proceeding further, let us discuss few technical terms covered in today's topic. Number 1, wind energy. Wind energy is the harnessing of wind power to produce electricity. Number 2, wind farms. Wind farms is a place where windmills are used to convert the part of the wind into electricity. Number 3, wind turbine. Wind turbine is a turbine having a large and varied wheel rotated by the wind to generate electricity. Next is biogas. Biogas is a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide produced by the decomposition of plant and animal waste that is used as a fuel. Now children, let us discuss our main topic, that is wind energy. Before the combustion engines, we use wind energy to propel our ships forward. Wind energy refers to the capturing the energy from moving air, that is wind, and converting it into electricity. Wind energy also includes using the wind to directly power machines without electricity. Now let us read wind energy in detail. Wind energy is basically harnessing of wind power to produce electricity. The kinetic energy of wind is converted to electrical energy. When solar radiation enters the Earth's atmosphere, different regions of the atmosphere are heated to different degrees. Because of Earth curvature, this heating is higher at the equator and lowest at the poles, since air tends to flow from warmer to cooler regions. This causes what we call winds, and it is these air flows that are harnessed in windmills and wind turbines to produce power. Now wind power is harnessed to generate electricity in a larger scale with better technology. This is the picture showing the basic parts of a wind turbine. It has low speed shaft, rotor hub, gearbox, high speed shaft, brakes, blade, the second brakes and generator, etc. Now let us study the process of generation of wind energy. When the wind blows past a wind turbine, its blades capture the wind's kinetic energy and rotate, turning it into mechanical energy. This rotation turns an internal shaft connected to a gearbox, which increases the speed of rotation by a factor of 100. That spins a generator that produces electricity. Children, this picture shows us the generation of wind energy. First of all, the rotating generator converts wind energy to electricity. Number 2, transformer increases voltage for transmission to substation. Number 3, substation increases voltage transmission over long distance. Number 4, transmission to the grid finally. Now next is the importance of wind energy. Windmills are used for pumping water from deep underground. Modern wind turbine is the result of design and material advances made during the 1980s and 1990s, which enabled wind turbines to become increasingly efficient. Today, wind turbines are size same as the traditional European windmills. It can generate 250 to 300 kilowatts of power, a nearly 10-fold increase in efficiency. Now let us read wind energy from your book. Open your book on page number 196. Wind energy generation. Wind is another important source of non-conventional energy. For long, energy from wind has been utilized, that is used to produce mechanical energy from windmills and used for pumping and running floor mills. Now, if a generator is coupled in the shaft of a windmill, the rotation of the windmill will lead to production of electricity from the generator. We have already started this process in the previous slide. This electricity in appropriate form can then be utilized for domestic and various other purposes. However, electricity from wind can be generated only in the areas of high wind velocity, that is in the areas where the winds blows at a great speed, so that the windmills can be used to generate energy at a great speed in a large quantity. Coastal region having wind speed of nearly 20 km per hour are ideal sites for this purpose. The first wind farm in India was installed in 1986 in coastal regions of Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Odisha. This map shows us the location of various wind farms in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Lakshadweep and Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. Children, this picture shows us the parts of a wind turbine, that is a pitch, a rotor, blades, generator and tower. Let us study few wind farms in India along with their pictures. Children, this is the picture of Moobandal wind farm, which is India's largest operational onshore wind farm. It is located in Kanyakumari district in Tamil Nadu with an installed capacity of 1500 megawatts of energy. Children, this map shows us the location of Moobandal wind farm in Tamil Nadu. The other two wind farms of Tamil Nadu are Ramco wind farm and Suzlon wind farm. This is the picture of Jaisalmer wind park, which is the largest operational onshore wind farm in India, located at Amar Sagar in Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. Its installed capacity of 1064 megawatt, which is the largest of its kind in India. So children, India has a total capacity of wind power over 37.669 GW, the fourth largest installed wind power capacity in the world. Wind power capacity is mainly spread across the southern, western and northern region. Now let us go through the advantages of wind power. Wind power is a renewable energy source. It does not produce greenhouse gases, so it does not cause the pollution. It is practically no cost when in use. Let us read the advantages of wind power from your book. Wind power is another completely clear energy source on the basis of greenhouse gases emission. Wind power is captured efficiently with today's technology, as wind turbines can be placed in a wide variety of locations like deserts and oceans. Remote areas, that is the areas which are not easily accessible by man, are not connected to electric power grid and can use wind power to create their own supply of electricity. It does not cause any pollution, as I have already told you. It does not generate any of the greenhouse gas emissions. This picture shows us the location of wind turbine in a desert, which is the major advantage of wind power in the deserts, as there is absence of any other major power source in deserts. Now this picture shows us the location of wind turbines in an ocean, which is another main advantage of the wind power in the oceans. Now this picture shows us that wind turbines can also be built in the remote areas, that is in the difficult areas of mountainous and hilly. Now let us go through the disadvantages of wind power. Wind power requires a lot of space. It makes a lot of noise. It can spoil the landscape. It needs specific conditions, that is the speed of the wind, which should be very high for the generation of the wind. This picture shows us how the wind powers can spoil the landscape. Now let us read these disadvantages from your book. Disadvantages of wind power. Like many alternative energies, wind power is not always generated. Wind turbines fall on the mercy to local wind patterns, that is in the places where the wind velocity is quite high, there the more and more wind can be harnessed to produce more electricity. For this reason, areas in which wind is not very strong or very frequent, may not benefit from the construction of wind power facilities. This picture shows us that wind power does not produce carbon dioxide or other pollutants, hence it does not cause pollution and is environmental friendly. This picture shows us that wind power on one hand is cost effective source of energy but poses threat to wildlife on the other hand. Now let us study our second topic of the day, that is biogas. Now children, what is biogas? Biogas is a clean and efficient fuel. It is a mixture of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. The chief constituent of biogas is methane, which is 65% in it. Now let us see the other constituents of biogas. Biogas consists of methane 50 to 80%, carbon dioxide 15 to 45%, water 5%, other gases 0 to 1%, hydrogen sulfide 0 to 3%. Thus children, biogas is a methane-rich flammable gas that results from the decomposition of organic waste material. Biogas energy is the use of biogas to produce heat or power. Now children, from where does biogas come from? Biogas comes from number 1, vegetation. When vegetation decomposes, it gives off methane gas. Number 2, farm and ranch animals, cattle, chickens, pigs produces manure. When manure decomposes, it also gives off methane gas. Number 3, sewage. The treatment of human waste in anaerobic digester produces methane. Number 4, landfills. Garbage produces methane when it decomposes. Now children, let us go through the raw materials required for the generation of biogas. Forms of biomass listed below may be used along with water, animal dung, poultry waste, plant waste like husk, grass, weeds, etc. Weeds are unwanted grasses. Human excreta, that is waste, industrial waste, sawdust, waste from food processing industries, domestic waste, vegetable. Now children, this is the picture of biogas plant given in your book. Let us study it in parts of a biogas plant. A biogas plant consists of a digester, gas holder, inlet and outlet. Children, this is the diagram of a biogas plant showing its parts, that is digester, inlet chamber, moving tank, overflow tank, outlet tank and gas control valve. Children, the first part of the biogas plant is inlet chamber, as you have seen in the picture. It is made to supply cow dung to the digester. It is made at the ground level so that the cow dung can be poured easily. It is made up of bricks, cement and sand. The outlet wall of the inlet chamber is made inclined so that the cow dung easily flows to the digester. Children, digester is the most important part of biogas plant. Fermentation takes place in the fermentation tanks. It is built underground, insulated, airtight. It is made up of bricks, sand and cement. Almost at the middle of the height of digester, 2 openings are provided on the opposite sides for inflow of fresh cow dung and outflow of used cow dung. Now children, next is gas holder. Gas holder is a cylindrical container above the digester. It is made to collect the gas. The gas pipe carries the biogas to the place where it is consumed. Now children, at the end we have outlet chamber. Digested slurry from which the biogas has been generated is removed from the biogas plant. The outlet chamber is also made at the ground level. Now children, let us read biogas from your book. So once again, open your book on page number 196. Biogas is based on the use of dung to produce gas which is used as domestic fuel, that is fuel at your homes and lighting streets and homes, especially in the rural areas, that is villages. Nowadays it is being used in our cities also. This technique is based on the decomposition of organic matter in the absence of air, that is anaerobic, to yield gas consisting of methane 55% and carbon dioxide 45%, which can be used as a source of energy. With some planning, the gas can also be used to produce electricity by burning the gas as fuel in a thermal plant or as input to a small gas turbine and connecting it to generator. Now children, this picture given in your book shows us the use of biogas for cooking food by a women in the rural areas. Now children, let us go through the uses of biogas. Biogas is used as a domestic fuel, that is, it is used for cooking, it is used for street lighting, for generation of electricity. If compressed, it can replace compressed natural gas for use in vehicles. Now children, let us go through the advantages of biogas first as a fuel. As a fuel, biogas has high calorific value, it is a clean fuel, no residue is produced, no smoke is produced, it is non-polluting, it is economical, it can be supplied through pipelines, it burns readily, has a convenient ignition temperature. Now children, let us read the advantages of biogas plants. Biogas plants reduces burden on forest and fossil fuels, produces a clean fuels, help in controlling air pollution, provides nutrient-rich manure for plants, controls water pollution by decomposing sewage, animal dung and human excreta, that is human waste. Now let us read advantages of biogas from your book. A. Sustainable source. Biomass energy uses organic material and waste for its production. Crops and residues, that is the leftover part of the crop after the extraction of oil from the oil seeds in agriculture and forest, are sustainable sources of biomass. B. Reducing pollution. Biomass combustion process emits far less greenhouse gases into the air than in the fossil fuel combustion process. In the process of gasification, no pollution gases are emitted into the air. C. Cost benefit. Biofuels are cleaner fuel as they do not emit any sort of pollution. That is why they are much cleaner fuels, which means they produce fewer emission on burning, hence do not cause any pollution. They are easily available and are cost effective. D. Used as fertilizers. Production of biofuel serves double purposes while gas is used to produce energy. The waste is used as a fertilizer. It reduces dependence upon foreign oil. It saves about 70 lakh tons of fuel wood and reduces dependence on fossil fuels such as coal and petroleum. It can be installed, that is, it can be set up on a very small scale on individual basis. That is why it can be mainly set up in the villages by the poor people also. Now children, this picture shows us the reduction of pollution in the landfills due to the generation of biofuels. Now let us read further. Used as a fertilizer. Production of biofuels serves as double purposes. While gas is used to produce energy, the waste is used as a fertilizer. That is the chemicals that is used to increase the fertility of the soil. Reduces dependence on foreign oil. It saves about 70 lakh tons of fuel wood and reduces dependence on fossil fuels. It can be installed, that is, can be set up on a very small scale on individual basis. That is why mostly people in the villages prefer to set up the biogas plants in their home. This picture shows us the use of biogas waste as a fertilizer. Now let us read the disadvantages of biofuel. A. High cost of production. Even with all the benefits, that is advantages associated with biofuels, they are quite expensive, that is costly to produce in the current market. B. Use of fertilizer. Biofuels are produced from crops and these crops need fertilizer to grow better. These fertilizer may cause water pollution. Large areas. A typical biogas plant requires a large area for its installation, that is, it needs a large area to set up a biogas plant. Now children, another limitations of or disadvantage of biogas plants are that the initial cost of installation of the plant is quite high. Number of cattle owned by an average family of farmer is inadequate to feed a biogas plant. Now children, some other disadvantages of using biogas are rise in evaporated ammonia levels, foul odor caused by the creation of the methane. Pipelines can be costly to maintain. So children, at the end of this video, I hope that you have learnt about wind energy, the process of its generation, the working of the windmills, advantages of wind power, disadvantages of wind power, various wind farms in India through map. Biogas, its generation, biogas plant, the process of generation of biogas in the biogas plants, advantages of biogas and disadvantages of biofuel. Now you should reread the chapter and solve the related back exercises. Thank you and have a nice day.